recently divorced this year. Got a divorce. It's awesome. It's really like it was like really just throwing away the 20 best minutes of material I had. Hard to bitch about your mother-in-law when you don't really have to see her anymore. I'm like, can we still hang out? You were great for material. You're a gold mine. She doesn't like me anymore all of a sudden. But the biggest difference between me and the ex-wife was about disciplining the kids. She was a modern mom, all about lectures, timeouts, that sort of thing. And I'm kind of an old-fashioned dad. I feel like once in a while, a child needs physical discipline. And There's the child users. We spotted them. Don't leave your kids with those people, though, unless you want them to get hit, because they had it coming. No, don't get me wrong, I would never strike a child with my hand, because then they learn to fear your touch. You know? So what I used to do is pistol whip my kids. I think the weirdest thing I've heard this year is Saudi Arabia's plans to execute a warlock. By the way, these are very close allies in the 21st century. They're going to off a witch over there, and I think that's pretty fucked up. It's hard to take them seriously then. You know, if they're going to be executing witches, do we really need to have bases and go through all that diplomacy? Can't we just go over there and strike a wooden axe and go, I control fire! I'll blot out the sun. Now it's going to get dark over here. What sucks is he's not even a Saudi, he was a Lebanese guy. He's like a Lebanese radio host who did psychic stuff. He's like their John Edwards. Right? And so I think, okay, so maybe that's a basis to lop his head off, because he's there, John Edwards. I think that'd be okay. But to declare him a warlock and off him. You know, I think he wasn't really on point that day. He's a psychic, right? And he shows up in Saudi Arabia, they're like, we're going to cut your head off. He's like, damn it, and I had tea this morning. I could have read the leaves. Took a reading before I came here. I don't even know why you'd want to talk to dead people. Seems like it'd be pretty boring. Seems to be all about like, you know, insects and soil conditions and weather. Like talking to a farmer. Man, Clem up there on the hill, he gets most of the exposure. But my ex-wife, she was half Palestinian and half Irish, so she was too drunk to throw rocks at the Jews. That's the one I kept. That's the one I kept. But I worked at her father, my father-in-law's little Middle Eastern grocery store when we first got married, and things were tight on money, so I worked at his little Middle Eastern grocery, and like all kinds of Middle Eastern, like Arabs and Jews would shop there. And I tell you, when you see an Arab and a Jew haggling over the price of a box of pita bread, you cannot tell the fucking difference. The same curly-haired, big nose, cheap bastard. Either way, they're the same. And I realized the solution to the problems in the Middle East is we tell them, look, stop shooting each other, and we'll let you buy everything wholesale. Then they'd be done. I don't know. Sometimes people get offended when you talk about the Jews. They're like, what are you, a Nazi? I'm like, no, I'm not a Nazi. I do have all of Hitler's speeches on cassette tape. But I just listen to them on my old Teddy Ruxpin. So it's just cute. Sit around, kids. Teddy's got a story to tell about the Jews. Living in Germany. A treaty of Versailles is not worth the paper it's printed on. Sweetest kids. I don't know. It's really fun doing comedy here at the house. It sucks when it turns out like 90% of the time I'm like the old comic, the oldest comic on the lineup. Thank God for Don Steinmetz. He looks younger, but he's older. So remember that. But it's tough getting older. You know, I'm going to be 46 this year, and there's so few elderly role models for me. You know, other than you know, Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. And that villain from the Saw movies. So they're all shitheads, basically. All my role models are shitheads like that. Like really, the Saw guy is my favorite because, you know, he's old, but still he keeps it together. You know, he's able to plan. He doesn't forget stuff. You know, I'm not going to be that. If I become an elderly supervillain, I'm going to be the one who can't get his shit together. I'm going to be all Yes, as you can see, there are only 2 exits from this room. Behind one, freedom. Behind the other, a ravenous tiger. Choose wisely. Oh wait, I should probably leave the room before you open one of those doors. So at count to 10, I'm going to duck out one of these doors. Could be freedom, could be tiger. You know what, it doesn't matter, because your legs chained to the floor and the water's rising fast. You're going to drown soon unless you unchain yourself. But I have cleverly, surgically implanted the only key to your shackles behind my left eye. Oh, ow, stop poking me in the eye. I just had surgery. Wait a second, these are your shackle keys. Where's my car keys? Check the dresser first, not the eye. I remember now what I'm supposed to be doing. You're the worst grandpa at Christmas ever. That's right, Timmy, I got you a puppy, but to let him out of his kennel, you'll have to oh God, he's just playing with the box. Goddamn kids these days. Alright, thanks for coming out. I'm Steve Maxwell.
All right, thank you so much. Steve Maxwell.